So Stephanie met Lilac this weekend, which
Yes.
was
How was
yeah.
the trip?
It was great. It was really short.
Hmm.
But we had a great time and we got to meet Lilac,
Your new niece. Yeah.
my new niece,
Um,
and she was yeah, I freaked out the moment I saw her. I was like,
I was like, because they told me to bring her, and then I was like, maybe I won't bring her, and then I said I guess I was gonna bring her,
I
and
missed,
then
like,
I
there
was
was
like,
this whole back and forth, like, is she coming? Is she not? So when
yeah,
Gretchen
and then
drove
I
up, I
said
didn't think
she
she'd be
walks up,
there.
she walks up, and I was like, don't freak out because you're not supposed to like freak them out, and she goes, ah.
How
And I
could
was
I
like, no,
not?
you're not supposed to freak out.
And I was like, oh, you mean like
Um,
that freak out? I thought you meant like you were gonna be, you thought I was gonna be mad there were like dog hairs in the car or something. And I was like, I
no,
wouldn't freak out
no,
about that. Like, who
no,
cares?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she's sweet, but you also saw her wild side
Did I?
at Venice Beach. At Venice Beach, she was a little overwhelmed.
Well, Gretchen
Yeah.
is working on leash training her. And at Venice Beach, she was just so overwhelmed. They were literally walking in circles. Like, it
No,
just.
yeah, I was walking her in circles, and then she got on the sand. I don't know if she's ever been on sand, and she just starts like running around me in circles. So I just had the leash, so I was like just doing like
Yeah, and
this,
I
and
got
then
caught
yeah,
in
Like
it.
a
Like,
lasso
yeah.
motion.
yeah. I was like, I don't know
Yeah,
what
Venice
we're gonna do right
Beach, I
now.
don't know, like, what the leash training protocol is, but it was just not even worth it to try there. Like, in hindsight,
She was
we looked
okay.
kind
She
of
did all right.
crazy. We were just walking her in circles. And this,
Imagine what she's gonna do when she sees snow.
I know.
she's
I
gonna love
know.
it.
She's
I
gonna
know.
love it.
Uh,
Dogs love snow.
yeah,
She's gonna
especially
love it
huskies.
so much. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Um,
She liked the
but yeah,
ocean too. I mean, she was a little, she
she was
seemed
a little freaked out.
shocked that like water was like coming at her like that, but I feel like she'd get used to it.
Anyways,
She's beautiful. We kept getting
Anyway.
stopped by people that were like, "That's such a beautiful dog." Gretchen
yeah,
was
she
like,
was
"I
Oh.
pretty
know."
privileged. No, I didn't.
You were like,
I said
"Thanks."
thank you.
Yeah, but
Not
we
that I did anything about it,
I
but
think I
like,
was like, "I
thank you.
know." And I'm not, she's not my dog, but I was like, "I know, isn't she pretty?"
We're all
Yeah.
very proud of Lilac. I feel
We
like
are.
she represents the Sofalites really well.
Yeah.
She is a good Sofalite. She loves a good relaxation. She loves socializing. She loves good food. She loves all the nice things. Yeah. So,
Mwah.
yeah.
She
So,
loves Venice
anyways.
Beach. Loves the
Yeah, what else did
beach.
you guys do in LA?
We went to the Academy Museum, which is new, which
Ooh, how was that?
oh, it was actually so cool. Oh my gosh, like they had costumes from so many different amazing movies and oh my God, like getting to see the Legally Blonde, like her pink suit that she wore, on her first day to Harvard or
Oh my
something.
God, a classic.
Yeah, and the what's that How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, that yellow dress, and
Oh my
yeah,
God.
Kate
Yeah.
Blanchett's Queen Elizabeth dress. Like I think I stopped at every single like lilac. I like lilac going around sniffing everything. I stopped at every single costume I saw, and they were everywhere, and they were amazing.
Yeah.
It was really,
They
really
were.
cool. I'm surprised that it's a new museum and that
Hmm.
there hasn't been something like that already made in
Yeah, it
LA.
was surprising that it wasn't already there in
Mm-hmm,
LA.
mm-hmm.
But
I feel
I
like
think we
LA,
sent
they were jealous, right? Because like New York, the Met has the Costume Institute, and they
yeah,
were just like, this is
yeah.
our thing. We should really have it on
Yeah,
the West
yeah,
Coast.
yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we sent you the picture of those drinks that were all the Best Picture nominees, which I thought was cute.
Yeah, some
That
of
Um,
was
those
fun.
drinks sounded gross. Is this an
yeah.
LA thing? Are people making cocktails with red wine? Because I have to
Yeah.
say,
Pratik got one.
was it
It
good? Is a
was
red wine cocktail
it
good?
was
It
with
tasted like mulled
sage.
wine.
It
It
had
was like
sage.
it
It
was like mulled
tasted
wine.
to me like
Okay.
Thanksgiving-y, like red wine
Yeah.
and sage, and he liked it. I don't know.
I mean, it was based on it was conclave, called conclave, so it had to be red wine, right? Essentially.
Yes. So red wine and sage and like what else do you put in like a conclave drink?
Let me
Frankincense?
look. That's
Well, you ever heard
actually
of that Spanish drink that's half red wine, half Coke?
Ew, what?
that does not
Yeah,
sound
I've
good.
done it. I tried it last summer because I wanted to know, and it was okay. Yeah, it's what
Does it
people in Spain do. Yeah.
taste
Okay,
like diabetes?
the
I'm not.
conclave
I
drink.
can't do
Speaking of
soda.
diabetes, is the conclave drink was red wine, sage, honey, lemon, and soda.
It sounds very sweet.
It was
Yeah,
less
it was a little
sweet
sweet.
than I expected.
It was a little sweet, but it wasn't that.
I was like, give me a glass of champagne. I don't want to deal with any of these. Like the
Yeah,
with
Wicked
ya.
drink, Crop Vodka. Is that a brand?
Yes, Crop is really good. I have had their cucumber vodka and it's very lovely.
Okay. So the Wicked drink had Crop Vodka, banana liqueur,
Ew.
strawberry, and cream foam. Like,
Sounds like
that sounds
exactly what I
terrible.
would want to drink in high school.
Yeah.
Without the banana liqueur, because I don't think that's ever going to be good. Ugh. The substance
It makes me
was...
think of 99 Bananas and the amount of just like blackout drinking I did in high school with 99 Bananas.
What is 99 bananas?
It's like really strong banana flavored liquor.
Oh,
It's disgusting
I don't think I've
That
ever
sounds
had
like
that.
something high schoolers would buy.
Yeah, like,
because it's high proof. I think it's 99 proof, and that's why it's
oh my
called 99
God.
Bananas.
Oh my God.
That's
Wow.
so dangerous.
That's crazy.
Wow, I just felt myself getting older in that moment. Like, oh my God, don't drink 99 proof. Oh my
No,
God.
don't drink it. It's like literally is rubbing alcohol that tastes like
Oh my God.
kind of like bananas.
Yeah, actually,
I
all
did
of these
think,
look pretty bad.
yeah, I wasn't drawn to
I
any of
think I was
them.
too tired by that point to
Yeah.
even read them. I was like, I'll take a glass of champagne and call it a day.
One of them sounded good. There was like a mezcal one. I feel like this is where I am
Oh,
in New
you know
York because I'm
what?
still drinking mezcal cocktails. I don't know if
Yeah, the
they're
Yeah, the
Brutalist.
Brutalist.
Mezcal,
Yeah, and I thought
lemon,
the
orgeat. What is that?
Orgeat.
Orgeat and
I actually
creme
thought
de
the
violette.
Amelia Perez sounded good too. Tequila, lime soda, spice syrup, grapefruit, cinnamon. I thought that
that
was
actually
That's
does
all
sound good.
right. Yeah.
Probably cocktail is the best thing about Amelia Perez.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then yeah, the I'm Still Here, which is non-alcoholic, is limeade, condensed milk, and nutmeg. Like, what?
I don't. It sounds like that's missing
Yeah,
Something,
something.
right?
Yeah.
missing. I mean, I'm still here being non-alcoholic is just
It's
very funny to
insane.
me,
Yeah.
like rhetorically.
Yeah, right? Also,
Yeah,
a
you're
complete
right.
unknown was non-alcoholic. It has a whiskey alternative. Orange, just orange. I don't know, orange juice or what, and sugar. Whiskey alternative,
Ugh.
orange sugar. Mm,
Oh, so like an old fashioned, but
Kind of.
not
Yeah, a
yeah,
little bit. But
not
because
alcoholic.
Chalamet is not old enough to drink, or like what is the thought process?
I don't know.
Well, there's Dune Part 2, which has overhaul
Yeah.
rye, graham cracker syrup, sweet
Ooh.
vermouth, and chocolate and orange bitters.
That's a drink I could get behind. That sounds like a s'mores for a grown
Yeah.
up.
Did they have like I would think the graham cracker should be like a garnish on the glass, like
Graham
sand.
cracker
Yeah,
syrup.
like on the. I've never
Yeah, like,
had.
why not?
What was it? Graham cracker syrup or graham
Syrup.
cracker? Ooh.
Wait, is there a comma there?
No, it says graham cracker syrup, comma, rye, comma,
Right.
graham cracker syrup, comma, sweet vermouth, comma, orange and
I
chocolate
believe you. I
bitters,
believe you. I
dot,
just think
dot,
that's weird.
dot.
Why use graham cracker and not make it about sand? That's just weird.
I think it gives you the idea of the sand without the texture of the sand. This is the Academy Museum, you guys. They
They're not obvious.
Whoever crafted these cocktail recipes, I feel like they should try a new contractor next year because this is not.
maybe they're taking like submissions. Like maybe we could somehow submit our best
Oh,
picture
yeah. We gotta
cocktails.
follow
Also,
the
like
Instagram
this
or
is something that we could just do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I
As a
was
trained
thinking.
bartender, I feel confident that I could just
Yeah. I was gonna
do.
say we could just make them ourselves.
Like good movies come out and they're like, this is probably going to be nominated. And then the nominations do
Yeah.
come out. And then we'll have a whole file of drinks.
I
Yeah.
love this. And
Yeah.
everything needs to have like brand tie-ins nowadays. So
Okay.
like I feel like this is something we could just start doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be the last people on the planet not to have a brand tie-in with the White Lotus. So we should definitely get on it. I don't think that there probably are cocktails associated, but I don't know of them or what they are yet. So we could definitely
Yeah.
fill that space.
Yeah.
Definitely make like a Thai White Lotus drink for sure.
Yeah, we could put
Make that.
lemongrass or something, like instead of just plain lemon, like a
Ooh.
lemongrass type thing.
A lemongrass hibiscus.
I
Yeah.
love hibiscus tea. Maybe we could like,
Yeah.
All right, we're all gonna make one and have a competition. But yeah, I did like so we went to a coffee shop on Venice Beach that I've gone to a different location of that coffee shop, and they're very like serious about coffee. And Stephanie got this drink, and then she's like, "Oh, I should have gotten it iced." And then she asked the guy for a cup of ice, and he's like, "Are you serious?" He's like, "We put like orange on the inside of the cup. Like, no, you can't." He's like, no, he gave it to her.
insulted his
He
craft
gave it to her,
work, and I didn't
but,
even
like,
know
he's
it. I
like-
was like, I'm sorry.
He's like, "No, we already rubbed the orange on the side of your cup. You can't do
Oh my God.
To be
It's such
fair,
an
it was
LA thing.
better before I dumped it in the glass of ice.
Well, now you know. You live, you learn.
Next time I get an
Yeah, that was funny.
afternooner from that place, Rachel, it was like a chai tea latte, but with like hot chocolate mixed in, and then they
Ooh.
put the
Yum.
orange on the inside, and it like was very fragrant and delicious.
Yeah, just like rubbing the
Yeah.
inside of the cup with orange.
Like
yeah.
expressing the peel
Yeah.
on the inside of the cup. I love that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was it was like the perfect little, I had already had way too much coffee, so I was like, I'll switch to tea.
Anyways, we do have to talk about some royals, ex-royals today.
Yes, I know. I feel like we are also the benefit of having waited so long to have this conversation is that like now we get to judge all of the other discourse about this
Yes.
show, which
Yeah.
like who knew a month ago when they said that they were gonna drop this show on Netflix that like this would be the reaction. Like was
Yeah.
this even on your radar like in January?
No, it
Um,
wasn't.
I heard of an American Riviera Orchard, which is no longer
Yes,
what
me
it's
too.
called. But
That's
I
what
don't
it was
think I've heard of the
called?
show. No, not the show, but her like brand company.
Oh.
And they had to change the name because there was some copyright issue with it, and so now
Oh,
it's
is
called
that
As
what it was?
Ever.
I was wondering
Yeah.
why, except for the fact that it seemed like a terrible, misguided
It-
idea that they
it was a
decided
bad
to
name, yeah.
rebrand.
Yeah, I think that there was a copyright issue because they said that was like a place, not something like that. They didn't look
The
into
American
it.
Riviera.
I don't know, something like that. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
They're
sorry,
like,
is
"That's too
anyone
broad."
familiar with the term American Riviera? Do we know that this is a thing, and is it Montecito?
Shall I Google it?
I think so. I think it's like that area. I'm pretty sure, like Santa Barbara.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think it is. And I
It
think they
seems
said
like the people that are there fancy themselves residents of the American Riviera,
yes.
so that completely
Yeah.
tracks.
Yes, that would be true. Yeah, I think that's correct. But now it's called As Ever. I think she already had that name copyrighted, apparently. So,
Which is very fine, except that, like, then why is the show called With Love, Meghan?
yeah, I don't know.
Like,
Yeah.
if you're,
And,
like,
like,
trying to
The
do brand
American
synergy, why
Riviera
not
is a
then, like, do
nickname-
that?
Yes, I just want to say American Riviera is a
For-
nickname for Santa Barbara.
For Santa Barbara, okay.
Or, yeah. So she's taken over the phrase. So she could have just gotten copyrighted. Yeah, like As Ever, what is that? Is that her brand? Is she gonna be making things? Is it going to be a blog? I don't really know what that
looked
is.
at
It's a
it.
brand. Yeah, you can go to the website, and it's
Oh,
very funny
interesting.
because, so I guess that, like, I don't know if everybody at Netflix and everybody at who runs Meghan Markle Sussex got their wires crossed, because, like, as of last week, I went to their website and like there were items on the website for sale, and it was like the same like American Riviera Orchard
Uh,
items, except that they're not available yet. So you can pre-order. None of them had like prices yet. It was very weird.
Yeah.
And
I
it was
don't know
like
what
just a
the
few kind of like select items that like you could see being able to get into production quickly and like, get labels on quickly if
okay.
Like
perhaps there hadn't been
raspberry
a giant
jam.
fire that destroyed half of California.
Oh
Yeah,
my God. Oh,
exactly.
okay. I see. It's like tea and
Yeah.
honey and okay.
Yeah.
So it's mostly food products.
Yeah.
Which
And
Interesting.
surprised
I did get
me.
served an ad that was saying something about how like it was supposed to be like a brand about tea culture, about like English tea culture is kind of the
Okay.
direction that they
Okay.
are wanting to go in. So
Okay.
tying in with, I guess, her
Interesting.
being the princess.
But it just, yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like, oh, she's selling flour sprinkles. Of course.
Okay, that is something I actually really enjoyed about the show. I really hope the flower sprinkle industry benefits from it because
The
I
flour sprinkle
want more flower
industry.
Big
sprinkles in my
flower
life.
sprinkle.
Yeah, in my life. I do. Yeah, like I thought those were a really fun idea. I was like, oh, okay, I could, I could, f with that.
Get
Like I
behind
could
that.
get behind
You
Yeah.
could
that.
so easily, Steph, make a flower
Yes.
sprinkle.
Yeah, it's not that
Oh,
hard.
so I was looking at like edible flowers and I was like, oh my God, marigolds, we get those all the time. Like planning out
Yeah.
my garden so I can just dehydrate flowers and
Roses. Yeah,
peonies,
it's very,
lilacs can
yeah,
be
Yes.
I
ingested.
know.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Roses, lilacs. I think maybe butterfly bush. They're actually sweet.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
You can like, yeah, you can take, I used to do that with them when I was little, like take the honey out of it. You can like suck the honey out. It's not honey, obviously. It's like nectar, but um,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. But everyone do your own
But
research on what you can actually
yeah,
eat in the
don't take
garden.
this.
Don't eat
This is
lilies
not
of the
medical
valley.
advice. You will die.
no.
And they are my birth month flower,
They're
so
so
it's
pretty,
poisonous.
but
Lily of
they'll
the Valley is?
May, yeah.
lily of the
Yeah.
valley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
hydrangeas too apparently have cyanide.
Anyways, so Megan makes honey, apparently. And
Apparently.
yeah.
Except that, like, have
She
you
doesn't
ever
actually
seen
touch it.
someone
Yeah.
who, like, was more confused about how this honey situation was gonna go? Like,
Yeah.
I cannot believe that they didn't want another take of
I know.
the most awkward honey harvesting situation that I could imagine.
And it was like the first scene of the first show.
I know.
They didn't have to do it
I
that way. Like,
know.
I
No.
really feel like and like, this is maybe to their credit, maybe they're trying something and maybe we're all missing it, but I truly feel like they shot and like aired these chronologically, like that they shot episode 1 first and then because everyone, including the directors and editors and producers, got better at it as the show
Oh,
progressed.
interesting.
That's an
Maybe they are doing that on
interesting.
purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
can
I
see
mean,
that.
like as far as the like the goal of the show, like like
Rachel's face. I don't know
like
either.
I'm
I was
not
wondering
I'm
that
not
too. Like, what
trying
are we
to
trying
like
to
bully
do?
Megan at all because I think there were some really nice moments. There were some things I found like inspiring, like flower sprinkles.
Truly, flower sprinkles is like my number one takeaway. Even though I am quite familiar with like sprinkling a plate with edible flowers, I will be very honest with you. I never thought to dry them first.
Such a
So
good
I learned
idea.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole lavender towels thing. I used to go to a yoga
Oh,
class where somebody made those and they would
yeah.
give them at the end. The teacher would give them at the end and they were like amazing. And now I'm like,
Of a
oh,
yoga class?
yeah. She made like,
See, that
yeah.
I can get behind.
Yeah,
So
that
there
I
were
get. But like
things
just
that I was
doing
like,
that randomly, I don't know. I was like, who has time for this? Who has time
Well,
to
this is
put
the big question, and
yeah.
I think that feeds into Stephanie's question of like, what was the point
Yeah.
yeah,
Who was
of
the
this
audience? What was the
show?
point? Like, yeah.
yeah.
Like, was it just that like Netflix was kind of like a partner in this like joint venture that was like the As Ever brand, and they were like, we can very easily stand up like a 6-episode commercial for this brand. So like, why don't we do that? Or
Yeah.
like, it doesn't seem like it was the thing that they spent the most money on this year.
No.
Like
No.
everything was kind of bad. Like the production and the marketing and the show itself was like kind of bad.
Yeah.
I think I mean, from it depends on who you ask. I think if you ask Megan, I think it is to humanize her, right? To make her more relatable.
I was kind
But
of wondering about that. I had this like thought in the back of my head, and then I like felt guilty about having this thought because I was like, why is it that like when someone has a reputation in need of repair, do they go for like trad wife content? Like, why is that the thing
yeah.
that's
That's
going to
a
have this
good.
like ameliorating effect on the reputation of a woman who has misbehaved somehow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or not even
Interesting.
misbehave, but everyone has this perception of having done something, misbehaved or done something wrong. Like, yeah, like I
Yeah,
feel like
like
she had, like a lot of people have that perception of her. Whether or not it's valid, is a completely different conversation. But like, yeah, why must we go back to the kitchen, barefoot in the kitchen, literally barefoot in the kitchen to do
Yeah.
literally,
that?
like
Yeah, they're like
it seems like a strange choice for her because like she's not very good at any of this like domestic stuff. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
it was mostly basic stuff. A lot of it looked kind of unappealing. That pasta did not look great.
oh no. Every time she made
Maybe it was
pasta, I was
good,
like,
but I
please do
didn't look
not
good.
make
Yeah.
pasta. No, it didn't look good. Why
It did.
was there so much cooked arugula in these recipes?
That's what I kept saying. It's like, don't cook the arugula, put it on at the end. I
Yeah.
didn't understand that.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then
And like
I also
obviously she was freaked out by pasta in that first episode. Like there was a moment I could see it flashing in her eyes where like the producer asked her, somebody asked her about like eating pasta, and she had like a mini panic attack because this woman quite obviously does not eat
yeah.
pasta.
Yeah. Like you're not actually eating this. And then like she also
No.
said she put them in her kids' lunchboxes. And I was like, are
what?
your kids really eating that pasta out of their lunchboxes like in daycare or whatever?
And
Or
then
like
she
where are
said,
they
she's like, my
going?
kids don't eat pasta.
Yeah.
Like she just
Like, so who are you
said
giving it to?
Like the continuity
Yeah.
was lacking. Yeah, like
Yeah.
like check yourselves. Like when they're oh my god, when they're editing, it's like check yourself and make sure that like
Yeah.
things aren't contradictory, because then it loses any sense of like authenticity that might have been there, or however then that might have been. But yeah.
And I
Do you
also
think that like they've tried though and then they kind of just gave up? Like after the 11th time of like somebody trying to set her up to say the thing that she was supposed to say in a way that sounded natural and it failing, they just left in the like producer off screen like feeding her the question, and you could hear him ask the question and then hear her answer the question. Like
yeah, I didn't really get that. I feel like that was supposed to add a layer of relatability because, like, I mean, let's just looking at this whole scene, it is not relatable. She's in a house that is not her own. She's wearing fucking white in the kitchen all the time. Like, who the fuck
Oh yeah,
does
I didn't
that?
even think of that. But that is
yeah.
such a good point.
Yeah, like no towel on her shoulder to wipe off her hands before she touches her
No,
pants.
no
Like,
apron.
There's like,
What did she wear? An
yeah,
apron?
no apron. No.
she had on an apron in one of the
Like when she was
episodes, I
frying
believe.
chicken? That's how
Yeah,
I
her. I
remember.
mean, her hair looks great, and like the only moment that I remember that was like actually relatable was when her like milk kind of started overboiling, and she like, and the producers was like, "Hey, friend, like look over here," and like that was like the only moment where I was like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense that they like had her in there and be like, oh yes, I'm screwing up, but I think it's gonna be okay." Like I get that. But the rest of the time, I didn't really understand why the producers were visible that often, and you couldn't see their faces sometimes. Like you'd hear them, and you saw their hands, and you saw their faces later. It was just like, I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know.
And I think that they didn't really know what they were doing. My
Yeah.
guess is that like it was very hard to get her to act natural.
Mm-hmm.
And so at some point, the person who was like, someone is going to have to edit this together and it's going to be a fucking nightmare, was like, let's go in the complete other direction and let's just like, we'll ask her questions from off camera and we'll leave it in and we'll hope that
Yeah.
people find it charming. And like,
That's a really
we'll
good
have her make the
point.
producers coffee and
Mhm.
we'll just act like it's a vibe. And this definitely seems like a decision that was made on set during shooting because of some
Yeah.
of like the challenges of how this shooting
I
went.
Yeah.
can see that. Yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, she didn't. I mean, one person on Instagram that I saw talking about it put it like, I think I said this, I might have said this before, but like, you went into it feels like you went into the wrong house. It was Megan's house, and she's like, "Oh no, like you should stay." Like, it kind of feels like that. And she's like, "I was just making these lavender towels. I'll show you how, I guess." Like, it kind of, I don't know, like,
Yeah,
but
it did feel, and I'm not trying to like disparage her or anything, but it didn't feel like, it felt very like she seemed very awkward and like uncomfortable, obviously. And I mean, there's probably a lot of reasons for that. I mean, she's been dragged through the press so much and everything. But I almost felt like uncomfortable watching it at times because I felt like she just seemed so awkward and uncomfortable herself. I was like, do I?
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
don't know if anyone
cringe
else felt that
moments.
way. Yeah, it just kind of felt like a little cringy at times and not like super authentic. Like I didn't feel like she was saying what she was really thinking. Like the adjective she was using, she kept repeating like, "This is so sweet," or like, "This is so
She
like."
also used a lot of words wrong, which I thought was very funny.
Really? Like
Like,
what?
she started talking about like a Bain Marie at one point, and she was not saying it correctly. Like, it was a lot of like cooking terms, which I understand. Like, she is obviously not a good or experienced cook.
Yeah.
So, like, I think she got a little out of her depth.
Yeah.
Although I will say, like, other than the fact that, like, she's incredibly wealthy and like this lifestyle is, quite like rarefied air, and like that aspect of it is not relatable. I think that like watching someone in the kitchen doing stuff that they're kind of bad at is incredibly relatable.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's true.
so
Yeah,
I totally understand why
Yeah.
America was like
Yeah.
so into this show.
yeah.
Yeah, and I liked that episode that she did with, what's his name, Chef Choi, or I forget his first
Yes,
name.
That
with
was
Roy
the
Choi.
best
I
one.
I
thought
felt
that
like
was
she
the
was
strongest
learning
That
from
one.
was the best
him.
one by far.
Yeah, like he was
Yeah.
great in front of the camera. He's very well spoken. It was cute to hear them like relate about growing up in LA, and then he was teaching her stuff about like the milky chicken brine or whatever that was, and it was just I thought that was probably the best episode. And excuse me, she was saying, "I don't know how to fry chicken," and he was like teaching her, and I thought like they had a fun dynamic, and that was probably, I would have loved to see more of that throughout the entire.
Yeah. I think if that had been the whole arc, like if she had been bringing, it was kind of like, I think Selena in the kitchen, kind of something similar, where she brought in
Yes.
like famous chefs, they teach her how to make something, that, and she's kind of like the audience point of view, like the novice cook point of view. That would have made a lot more sense to me. And then maybe she adds in a craft like at the end or whatever that she does. But
Except that she
Yeah.
also is not good at crafting. And this is like
I know,
my
I
entire
feel
thing about
bad.
it being so relatable. Like
Yeah.
that episode where she was trying to make like a beautiful children's birthday party, like I have lived that. And let me tell you that as a person who is also not good at making balloon arches, but I do it anyway every single time my kid has a birthday, I'm better at making balloon arches than Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
Sussex. But
Sorry, Sussex, sorry.
Sussex!
Don't yell at me.
but yeah, no, like if her entire thing was like, hey, here's a thing that I want to do, have to do because I'm a mom,
Mm-hmm.
am going to learn to do that I've never done before, and like let's do it and be kind of bad at it and that kind of whole thing. Like let's do it together.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could have been like an absolute slam dunk and she would have like circumvented a lot of the criticism where like I think maybe we didn't have to pretend that like we're super good at arranging flowers and then like cut to like an obviously professionally arranged flower bouquet. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The balloon arch thing irked me for different reasons because I've never made one and I probably won't. Now that I've said it, I probably will, but um I feel like that's kind of off brand for them because they're supposed to be very like environmentally conscious and they're supposed to be like pioneers of like climate awareness and things like that. And a balloon arch, I mean, love them or hate them, they are one-use items. They go in the trash as soon as you're done with them.
Are they supposed to be environmentally conscious? I thought that was King Charles.
I think that I mean, I could be wrong, but I got the vibe like I mean, she's attended like One Young World and all of, I think
Okay.
like they're millennials and I feel like they're not the millennials that are just like willfully
Yeah, I
denying
get that.
climate
Okay.
change. I think if anything, they try to be like, didn't she narrate something or one of them did some sort of narration
I
about
don't
some like
know.
nature show? I don't
Yeah.
know, but I felt like it was a bit off brand because if it's like, okay, like this is my farm to table kitchen and my farm to table children's party, where does the balloon arch fit in? I don't know.
I think that it was not a farm to table situation though, because she did, and this was another thing that I was like, you're doing too much, like you don't have to do this. She kept saying like, you can get these flowers at the grocery store. Like you can go to Trader Joe's and then put these pretzels in a cute bag and label it. Like, I don't know, just the amount of like not sustainable things that
Yeah.
were going
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
Like
was
second bags, like I don't know. I mean,
yeah, plastic
yeah.
bags to put all her little treats in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just aside from that though, the use of those like burlap ribbons really drove me insane. I don't know what those are called, but
I think they're
I
called a
think
burlap
they're
ribbon.
burlap
You may have
ribbon.
forgotten because the last time that we saw one was in 2009.
yeah, like what
And it's
was
like,
that?
why?
I don't-
Yeah.
yeah,
I remember
like
the
you have
first
access to
time
very
I
nice
saw
ribbon
one
in
on
short.
Pinterest, I was like, this is so cool. And then it was all downhill from there. I don't want to see him again. Why? Like, why? Like, and if you really want to be
No.
edgy, like, crochet a ribbon. Because crochet is very in right now, and that's what people do for leisure, and it's kind of a status symbol. Because anyway,
Or just
don't let
like
me
you can just
get going on crocheting because
also she could just get a bunch of mismatched ribbons from people, be like, oh, do you have an extra ribbon? And that's sustainable and that's cute. And like all a bunch of mismatched ribbons that are like all white or whatever. Like that's cute. I
Or
don't
yeah,
know.
keep
So
them
But
from
this is the
gifts.
thing, is
Yeah.
that no, that Megan would have to actually be good at any of this stuff and ever actually have done it or thought about it before in her life to even think of collecting like ribbon from people in her life. Also, do the people in her life collect ribbon? They do not.
probably not. But you can also
But
go to
she
like
could try
scrap
for they could
stores.
for this show, or some of
Yeah.
the producers. They could be the friends donating the ribbon.
Yeah, like when you get
Yes.
packages, like I know my mom gets like, makeup from Dior, and sometimes they have ribbon around them and like that
Yeah,
kind of
and
thing.
then
So
Christmas
Yes.
presents will
yeah.
be really misleading because they'll be wrapped into your ribbon, and then
And I'm
you're
like, you got
like
me something from
Dior,
Dior, mom, and you're like,
and then she's like,
she's
it's
like,
not from
no.
Dior.
I have to say that like you guys might be biased on this particular point because your mom is better than most people at ribbon.
She's
She
very good.
does
She
like
keeps all her
ribbons,
ribbons. She
and
keeps a lot of
we
her
have a
ribbons.
whole like. So many things in her house are not like the most organized, but like we all know where the leftover
know where the ribbons
ribbons
are.
are, and the new.
Okay, so I will say that
Spools
I
of
fall
ribbons.
much more on the Meghan Markle side of the ribbon equation.
And that, sometimes like you just got to do that to stay sane. So, I mean, I try to keep ribbons if I don't hide them quickly enough, my husband throws them out. So it's like a constant,
No,
like,
don't throw them out. You're gonna need them.
I hide
I don't know
them.
why I care so much about ribbons.
I
But you will
always
need
feel
them
my
bad
best
throwing
to
them
hide
out,
them.
but honestly,
Yeah.
like when I get like overwhelmed by the amount of shit that's in my house,
Yeah,
ribbons are
yeah.
the first thing to go.
I mean, your sanity
Give them
comes
to
first.
Barb.
It comes
Yeah.
before ribbons.
No, literally,
Yeah.
if
But
it's
Barb
for
will
your
take
mental
them all.
health.
She'll
Now
take
I will put them
yeah.
in a bag and I will give them directly to your
She will
mom,
be,
and
like,
I will
very
know that they
excited.
are well used.
Yeah.
If it's for
She
your
will
mental
reuse
health.
them every Christmas or birthdays, and she will be happy. So
Yeah, it'll be fine.
So yes, I was biased thinking that everyone's like my mom and has a drawer
You're
full of
probably
ribbons.
right, Rachel. Yeah, but why the
And even
burlap
if
ribbon?
Meghan did have a drawer full of ribbon, it would be at her house and not at
True.
the Airbnb with the beautiful garden that she had absolutely no idea how to navigate
I know.
and was like misidentifying peppers and like
Oh yeah, and all the extra citrus. Everyone was like complaining about like who has extra citrus, and I was like, well, people do in
I
California.
literally heard that yesterday from your friend Gretchen.
Because I brought it up.
She was like, "We have
we
so much
talked about
extra
it on this
citrus."
podcast.
Yeah, I brought it up last
big
week.
problem.
You did.
Oh yeah, no, but like blood oranges is she had extra blood oranges, which is very bougie. And then she was like, "Oh, we'll just." But I have actually done what she did, where I dehydrated oranges. People kept giving me oranges and lemons, and I was like, I don't need any more fucking oranges and lemons. So I just started dehydrating.
You do
them.
though, because okay, so here's my like ribbon wound is the citrus fruit because you need it when you decorate for the holidays.
That's true.
Okay, I'll dehydrate them and I'm gonna mail them home. I have a
Thank
lot.
you.
So I'll ask Melanie. My friend Melanie was like, I have so many lemons. And I was like, yeah, now I'll take it.
I was like very tempted to ask her for some, but one, I didn't want to be weird about it, and two, I had no room left in my car. We
had no
carry-ons.
time at that
and we had no
point, yeah,
time.
yeah.
But I was like, oh my god, if we had more time, I would totally check some random bag full of lemons.
Everyone tries to palm lemons off on me. I'm like,
oh my
you
god,
guys.
that is not a
Whatever.
problem we have in the Northeast.
Yeah, no, it's not.
We need more lemons. We basically have scurvy. Send us your lemons.
Oh, that's what you should be doing. Why don't, instead of dehydrating them, send the people in upstate New York and Pennsylvania and Maine your lemons.
Yes.
They're always
That'd be
so
okay.
expensive because they're not indigenous here. So
You know what?
We pay like
We should
$3
start
a lemon. It's crazy.
I know. We should start a trading program where we send raspberries and apples and they send lemons and oranges.
That's a great
And
idea.
It's just,
Yes.
you know.
Absent the farm bill, we, the New York Sofalites, are going to fix agriculture in this country.
Guys,
Don't even
keep
worry about
listening.
Keep listening. Climate
Gotta-
change is changing everything, and you're
We'll
gonna
stop
want to
making-
still get food, you know,
Yeah.
and citrus
Yeah.
when it
Yeah,
all goes
but-
to when California burns down. But
Yeah, I did think it was extremely awkward when she kind of yelled at Mindy Kaling. I know she didn't yell, but she was like, "It's so funny you call me."
have you
Marco
ever
still."
been
And
with
I'm
a friend or like acquaintance who like took that tone with you, and you were just like, well, who died and made you
Like,
queen, you know? But you have to like stand
Or-
there.
No,
Marcus.
don't use the
Oh,
bad
shit.
choice of
Oh,
words.
shit. Oh, shit.
Can you please like edit that out?
Who cares?
Oh my
It's
god.
okay. The Royals are, I can tell you that the Royals are not listening. I do
We're
have
days.
some royal succession related questions for like when we get to that point in the podcast,
Okay.
but please continue on the
Please,
Mindy
yeah.
Kaling thing. I think
Yeah,
that's so
no, I mean
funny.
I've had friends take that tone with me about stuff I thought was inconsequential before, and like I've been kind of just like very like honestly offended. Like I don't easily offend at that sort of thing, but it's like, gee, like, you know, that tone was a very and then she like tried to
Yeah.
recover, and she's like, it's just so sweet when you and your family all have the same last name and blah blah blah. And I was like, just leave Mindy Kaling alone. You know, she's doing you a favor. Your
Yeah.
email pen pals. She was on your podcast once. Like, you don't hang out. She's just getting to know you. Like, she's helping you with your show. She's America's sweetheart. You know, just give her a pass.
Now, do
Yeah.
you think that this was like an actual thing that like organically happened during shooting, or do you think that one of the producers was like, Mindy, you have to pitch her the Markle thing so that she can explain the Sussex thing.
Well, that's a good question, because as Americans, like, we really don't know a lot of these things. Like, I know that they have, like, royals have a last name, but I didn't know if Sussex was actually her last name.
It's
Well,
complicated. I
didn't
Googled
know.
it. Wait, Gretchen, go.
no, it is complicated because I think there is like a whole politics to it. Like you are born with one, and it's I think they were originally born like Winchester.
No, Windsor.
Was there?
Windsor.
Oh,
No,
Windsor,
Windsor,
Windsor. I'm sorry.
Mountbatten,
Yeah,
Windsor.
dash Mountbatten, Windsor.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're right. You're right. And then, but once they get a title, the title becomes their last name, I guess.
See, that's what we
Um,
as Americans just don't understand. And Mindy
Yeah.
Kaling is American, and I feel like if they wanted to tee up that scene, don't you think they would have like then had that explanation in there, or are they just completely like ignoring the royal
I
family
think
at this
that
point?
that segment was longer. Like
it was definitely cut. I saw that. You could
yeah,
noticed it was
like
cut.
some of her dialogue was cut out of that. And like, I mean, honestly, I totally understand. Like, I thought about not changing my name when I got married, but I did because I was like, I wanted my whole family, including my kids, to have the same last name. Like, my mom and I don't have the same last name, and
Mhm.
it's confusing. People have always thought that she is my stepmom, and she's not. So I'm with Meghan. I made that same choice. Also, like, it's different when you're an American citizen, right? Because like you have to have a last name.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Harry doesn't have to have one, but Meghan's passport needs to have a last name on it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it felt very like yeah, she definitely got triggered there. That definitely struck a chord that, you know, it was just not a good moment. It clearly pissed her off, but
Yeah.
I don't
and
think
I
there was
also-
anything malicious behind it.
it didn't feel prompted to me because at least maybe it was, but it didn't feel that way. I know she's an actress, so she can make it go however she wants to, technically, but it did feel like she was triggered. So I don't know, but
it was definitely weird. They definitely didn't like vibe, I think, the way that everyone was hoping
No.
that they would.
yeah, I know they didn't.
Yeah.
I think by far. I mean, I thought her polo friends they kind of vibed, and I also thought like shut the is it
The
Chef Boy?
Argentinian woman.
Mhm.
They made focaccia.
They didn't like vibe in a friendly way, but they had like a weird rapport. I don't know.
It reminded me of like when I hang out with like my kids' friends' parents.
Yeah, that's what it kind of felt like, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, like we're not friends, but like we are nice to each other and we can like do a common activity if necessary.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was it I thought it was hilarious that she had like towels in the fridge at home. It's like who I don't know. Like who was like after their hike. I'm like, come on. It just a lot of towel content that I wasn't expecting and I don't know.
I guess it's hot in California. So like
Yeah.
a cold towel seems nice after a hike, I guess. I don't know. Like I wouldn't spend the time to do it, but I don't necessarily think that people shouldn't.
That's
It's
what I'm
just, like,
saying.
you're
After
gonna-
those
but-
hot yoga
but
classes
listen.
I used to take when they gave us the cold
No,
lemon
that's
towels.
different. That's different.
I
Okay.
That's totally different because if you
Yeah.
are a gym and part of like the luxury of going to this gym
Yeah.
is that you have the wonderful scented towel after your fancy yoga,
Yeah.
like that I'm 100% on
Yeah,
board
they've
for.
given me a cold towel once at a really fancy hot yoga place. I only went there once because it used up all my class pass points. But it felt amazing to be given a cold towel. But listen, hear me out. If you're actually on a hike in California, if you're real like you're gonna get back in the car after your hike, have air conditioning, and then get back to your house. You're not gonna have a hike in your backyard like she did. So it'll be irrelevant when you get in the house. But that's just kind of my thought.
All good points.
I would have
So.
loved to see like they had that was that the sun tea content where
Oh my
she
God,
was like
how do you make sun tea?
Yeah.
You just put it in the fucking sun. Yeah, we know. Like, I'm sorry. That really pissed me off. I'm like, yes, I know how to make sun tea. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was a little rough because I was like, that was probably the first thing I ever learned how to make.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
Mom did it because she like was running out of ideas of things to do, and she's like,
She's
let's
like,
make
look.
sun tea.
Look, here's a big jar.
Here's a big jar. Here's some tea. We can come back later. But I mean, I love sun tea, but yeah.
I also love though that her tea like had almost no tea in it. Like in the first episode, she was like, "I'm gonna make you some tea," and she just like steeped some mint and then put some
Yeah.
honey in it. I was like,
Like
"Is
cayenne
that
pepper,
tea? Does
yeah.
that qualify as tea, or does your tea have to involve like actual tea?" I'm not a tea drinker, so this is like well outside my purview.
So I have heard of people in like the Netherlands or Scandinavia just taking mint out of their garden and putting it under hot water and be like, this is tea.
I've seen
But
people
I
do
don't
that
really
here
know.
in the
Yeah.
US.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's,
Okay, so
Yeah.
tea doesn't always have to have actual tea in it. It's just like if you have like a hot beverage with a
That you're steeping
leaf in
well,
it.
it's steeping.
something.
It's
Yeah.
so steeping. It just
You
like
can
you're
steep
not.
anything. It doesn't have to be like the particular tea plant.
Yeah. Like, and
Oh
it'll
yeah,
still be
'cause
called
tea.
tea, I guess, at least in our
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah,
You
because tea
know?
can come from so many different places. Like lavender tea, and it could just be lavender.
Yeah, I don't
at
think
least for us.
chamomile is the real tea plant, right? It's it's
No,
a
just
different type of
chamomile.
plant.
Just chamomile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
don't
like
know. It
green
all
tea.
just tastes like just like dirty plant water to me. But
You're so
Fair
not
enough.
British, Rachel. Oh
I'm
my
so
God.
sorry. I know for such an Anglophile, I really am like
Dirty plant water. You're not Megan's core demographic. The tea.
definitely not. Although I am pro flour sprinkles.
Yeah.
I love the flour
also-
sprinkles thing. I'm like, oh my god, you can put them on an omelet. Such a good idea.
You could
No,
put
we
it
don't
on
need to do that.
anything. If you have some chive flowers, that's really lovely on an
Yeah,
omelet.
Yes. Good point.
That is
Good
such a good
point. I love
idea.
chive flowers. I do like the idea of tea time though. Like the idea of like having a bunch of cookies in the middle of the afternoon with some tea.
I
Sounds
agree because
great.
like you take
Very
a
pro.
pause. You
Yeah,
take
yeah,
a pause.
yeah.
Like sometimes I hate that time of day too because it's the time of day where I'm like, I've tried to do a lot for like my job or like what on a weekend, whatever. I've tried to like make the most of it, but I'm tired by that point. But then the whole evening stretches ahead, and I'm like, I just need a break to like sit and think and like have a moment. And I've often thought like, I wish we had more of a tea time culture here. Just
I think we should
just
just
a
make
little bit,
tea time
just a little bit.
culture.
Just sit,
Yeah.
have some tea, cookie.
But could it be coffee culture? Like,
Oh, of
so
course.
in
Yeah.
Decaf or whatever you
Sweden,
want.
they have kind of like, I guess it's similar to that where it's like fika and they have a coffee and like, some kind of treat or whatever. And it's like like a tea time, but it's coffee because Sweden doesn't fuck
Because
around.
there's no light. Yeah.
Because you need to have coffee to stay awake when it's dark.
It's
Um,
true. Yeah, I think that I mean this brings us back to the whole like workaholic American culture, and I am very pro taking a little break.
If that was her brand, I'd be into it. She was like, "We're gonna take breaks."
Yeah, no, literally.
Your whole life is a break.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, I feel like that's what I want to know more about though. Like that's how I feel. Like I feel like, she has this unimaginable level of wealth and, blah blah blah. But like show me like a bit, not even like all the hard parts. I don't care. I don't need all the gory details, but like, get a little real about how hard it is and then be like, and this is my tea time, and then like make that part of your brand. And I would buy into that. Like so far I'm not interested in buying anything from her except maybe flower sprinkles, but
Don't buy the flower sprinkles. We will make the flower
You
sprinkles.
can make flower
I know,
sprinkles
and they're
very
also on
easily.
Etsy. They're so not sold out on Etsy or anything. So
That's so funny. And she's charging, we don't even know what she's charging, but what would be your guess for like what she's going to charge for the flower sprinkles?
So it was like a jar that I would say was about like, what would you say? Like maybe a cup, like 8 ounces, or it looked like maybe like kind of a generous jar.
Okay.
And I would guess minimum like $60, but I feel like,
What?
yeah.
I was gonna say 35.
Well, no,
Oh my
I
God,
don't think it's
60?
worth 60, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like, I think that's where they're going to go.
I
guess
think
that
you're
makes
right.
sense.
I'm always shocked at how much these things cost. So like my kind of like access point is Ballerina Farm, who is like another trad
Oh
content
yeah.
creator, and she sells all of this stuff, including like these sourdough starters and
Oh
like,
wow.
it's like more like they have like a whole entire like production line and like a meat farm and like all of these things. They sell
Oh
croissants
yeah, it's
and
like
they sell these
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Ooh,
frozen croissants
croissants.
I want to
for,
Are they
make my
good?
own frozen croissants. Anyway, go
I
on.
don't know if
Honestly,
they're
croissants
good
are hard.
because for 6 croissants, it's like
That's
$120.
what
They
I'm
ship
What?
talking
them to
about.
you
That's
from
what I'm talking
Utah.
about. Like
What? Why?
like
That's
$20 a
insane.
Exactly.
croissant. Like, oh my God.
No croissant is that good unless it's actually like
In
baked that
France.
morning and handed to you by a Parisian baker.
I
Like,
used
Yeah,
to
and
live
even
in a
then I'd be
town
like,
where there was a Parisian baker.
oh,
And
that
they
was so
recently
good.
closed down this year
I
they
was
closed. Yeah.
wondering. Oh, because I like tried to
oh,
go
In
through
New
there
Hope.
recently.
Yeah, it was really sad
Oh,
because I was trying to bring Pratik and they were like, thanks for a great 30 years or whatever. And I will say, I paid like, I don't know, I can't remember what it was. It was less than $10, but it was friggin' worth every cent. Like, it was a legit croissant fresh out of the oven that morning made by a Parisian baker and people he
yes.
trained. And it was worth every cent, and it was worth, honestly, every calorie.
See,
You
and
know,
that I would
like,
pay for, but like a $60 jar of flour sprinkles, definitely no.
no.
Because you know that,
uh-uh.
like,
No.
at the end of the day, like, Meghan Markle has no hands on these
She has not touched the flour
products.
sprinkles.
Well,
Has
she
definitely not
has
touched
when
them.
she puts them on the sandwiches. On the
Well,
show.
not the ones that
On
you're
the
buying.
show.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you're not buying
Not the
those.
ones I'm buying, no. Which is why we're going to make our own. I think we should have a flour sprinkle tutorial
What if
on our
we
website.
sell flour
What if we just
sprinkles?
started selling flour sprinkles? Do you think they'd sue us? Like, what would happen?
No, you
You
can't.
can't trademark flour sprinkles.
Just like you
Like,
can't trademark American Riviera, you can't trademark flour sprinkles.
oh my God. You know what I will say though, like on this show, like Meghan Markle, very bad at most of the activities that she undertook on this show. But her calligraphy, like
Oh,
somebody
that's stellar.
practiced some calligraphy,
Yeah,
and that's
I
like not easy to
beautiful.
No,
master.
I actually heard that she used to do wedding invitations when she was like starting off as an
Yeah.
actress
I
and
can
needed
see
Like,
extra
that.
not
money.
that
Like I
long
think she
ago,
did
she
that for
was, yeah.
like Robin Thicke, she did them for and stuff. Like when
Oh,
they well, like when he was before he was weird, when he married his wife, his first wife or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean maybe he was always weird. I don't know. I think they were friends. I don't know. Paula, whatever. Paula is.
Point
Oh,
is,
yes.
she
No,
used to
she
do
actually is great.
legit.
She seems great. I think that she might have been friends with her or something. Yeah,
And, like,
Oh,
how
I
cool
wonder
would
if they
that
met at an
be?
audition.
probably because they're the same type. I feel like
Yeah, like similar
similar looks.
actresses.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
love, you know what would have been cool as an episode is if she like did some calligraphy for like a friend's wedding or shower or, baby shower or something. Like,
We can't watch her just write envelopes though.
yeah, but that's not the point. The point is like she could do a couple envelopes, but then she could be like she could tell a story about how she got into it and how long it took
Yeah,
her to
I can see that.
become this proficient and yeah, like I don't know.
I feel like there was like a serious dearth of storytelling on this show too. Like she would, when she was speaking to her friends, they would kind of like reference like, oh, that time that we like grilled in
Yeah.
Argentina, or like, oh, the three friends that she has lunch with that like it's like her actress friends, and it's so awkward because
That was so
like
awkward. Oh
they're
my
so
God.
obviously not actually friends, and
Yeah.
like they all try to tell the story of how they met, and are just like, well, we met and then we became friends.
And we all met, and then she was like, "Oh, I was at her wedding," and like the other person didn't know. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, like these
Yeah,
people,
really
not only are they not friends, but they
Yeah,
barely know each other, and two of them definitely don't want to be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
certainly don't want to eat your gross pasta,
Oh
Meghan
my
Markle.
God.
yeah,
Oh my
I
God.
think that whoever, planned this out, whoever did PR, like clearly she wants to protect her privacy a bit, but you can still give, tell some, so practice some stories, keep them, high level enough that you're not feeling too personally invaded. I mean, just like read an interview from the 90s when, you know, Tom Cruise was getting interviewed. Like he'd like talk, and they'd talk about how the interviewers, the journalists would talk about how they felt like they were his best friend because he was just so good at connecting and like telling little offhand stories and whatever. But then they'd leave and realize like he didn't even invite them into his house. You know, they were just like on the front porch or something. And I feel like that can be replicated, and that would make, you know, Meghan Markle's Sussex more, I mean, would have made her more like relatable, or I don't likable. I don't know what the word, I don't want to say, like, I don't think she's unlikable, but I think that she's trying to get some, you know, points and some visibility and some of her good reputation back.
That's so funny that you say that she's not unlikable because I kind of agree, except for the fact that like we saw so many people not like her on this show.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
couldn't find anyone who likes
Yeah.
Meghan Markle to be on her television show. So like,
Yeah.
is she unlikable?
Yeah, like it's a conundrum. I don't know.
It seems like she just has a very hard shell. And it's like she presents herself as very soft and kind of, you know, welcoming, but it's doesn't come across. And I think she's definitely, there are reasons why she has that hard shell. I get it. Like it's not, you know,
I would.
not
If I
it's not
had been through
unwarranted.
what she went through, I probably
But
would
this,
not even be doing a
but a
TV show.
TV show, yeah, I mean, like, but a TV show like this with
It's a
someone that
strange
has a very hard
choice.
shell, like it has a very, it's a strange choice, and I feel for her, and I understand maybe what she was trying to do, but it just doesn't, like, it just didn't work, and I feel like redux it next time if you're gonna do it again. Make it like, yeah, more stories, more
Yeah,
chill,
boil the
less
Well, we'll
milk
like,
see.
over the pan and just be like, oh, we're not going for perfection here. Like I liked that moment,
yeah,
you know, when she's like, we're not being
yeah,
perfect here. We're just, you know, we're just doing it. And I'm
yeah,
like, okay, like
yeah,
I get to that point in the kitchen too. You know, I'm like, I just gotta finish it. Might have burned something a little bit, but you know, that's
yeah,
life. And yeah, because she was coming across as like, you know, having a hard shell but being a little like what's the word, like shy, you know, a little
demure,
demure,
as you
like
want
in
to
the
say.
true sense of the word, a little demure, but then
She seemed self-conscious a
super
little bit to
very
me.
self-conscious, but then
Yeah,
like this
yeah,
side of her that I think is a very real part of her that seemed really confident would also come out at various points, and you like her voice and like what she was saying, you'd be like, wow, she sounds like in a good way like an army sergeant, like she knows what she's doing regarding this, you know, thing. Or I can't think of a specific example, but I think that's why it all felt kind of inauthentic and stuff. It just didn't work.
yeah. It felt like there were different facets of her that were not coming together too.
Yeah.
Um, and I will say it kind of drove me nuts that she called Harry H. It's not easier to say. Also, in Britain, they say H, I think. So it's weird. And then, is that her nickname for him? Is she trying to not say his name? I
She's trying to make it
don't
not
really
about him. Yeah, I don't
understand.
know.
I
Like,
mean, I
I don't.
like that it was not about him
I did,
because I
yeah.
think that he is a goob. And like, I did not like that he showed up in that last episode. And I was probably literally said to my TV, like, Harry, this is not about you.
Get your own cooking show, Harry.
Yeah.
But no one wants to know more about him. Like, everyone knows about his memoir and everyone is
Yeah.
horrified.
We
And
already
Yeah.
found out too much, and I didn't even
Yeah.
read it. I just had Instagram, and it kept pushing me things that were just TMI, and I
Yeah.
like,
still
quite
know way
honestly,
too
and
much. I don't want to know.
so, yeah, if I were Megan, I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to share anything personal about my life or myself or my past either, based on the reaction to Harry's memoir. But I'm here to tell you that, like, the reaction wouldn't probably be the same because she seems like a much more together individual
Yeah.
than her
Yeah.
husband, who
Yeah.
is just a goob.
Yeah.
He seems like
But
a
like, I
messy
did like when
man,
she,
and
yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
But I did like when she
Spoiled.
talked about like Jack in the Box and stuff like that. Like I enjoyed that. That's
Yeah, the Roy Choi episode was like the best
yeah.
episode. If they had the opportunity to like change the format for season 2 and like
That's
do
what they
more
should
of,
do. Yeah.
they don't, because they already shot it at the same time that they shot season 1, because
That's a
Netflix was
shame.
like, obviously, like, we're getting all of our money's worth for this
Yeah.
ridiculously expensive Airbnb that like
Yeah, they're
the
like we're doing it all right now. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
hope
and
that
also
Roy
I
Choi
I
makes
did like
another appearance.
that would be great. But I did think it was genuine. Like she seemed genuine when she's like, "What do you listen to when you cook?" And he was like, "Speed metal." And she was like, "What? Are you serious?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"He can listen to speed metal." And she's like, "That's not very Choi of cooking." And he's like, "Yeah, we all are multifaceted."
Yeah,
Like,
I
don't know.
loved that. He was like, I
Yeah.
am who I am. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's true." It just like she seemed genuinely shocked, and I'm like, "Yeah, people can listen to weird, stuff
Yeah.
that doesn't.
But
People have different sides."
everyone's had moments
Yeah,
like that with their friends where they're like, "Oh, really? You do that?" Like, because you don't know
yeah,
everything about everyone, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's,
yeah,
is what it is. Yeah, and there was that time too where she said she was a latchkey kid and like had a lot of pre-prepared food and stuff, and I thought that was one of the more like one of the moments I liked better too, because she's kind of saying like I didn't grow up doing this, like she's trying to learn to cook and do things that her mom didn't do for her because her mom was a single working mom, so understandably she wasn't making breakfast for her family every morning. If I think that's
It
she
was kind
said
of
that.
horrifying to me, though, that she said that she likes to wake up before her family to cook them breakfast because,
hmm
like, logistically, what a
When
fucking nightmare.
your kids get up at like 5, don't they? Like,
No one gets up earlier than their kids. No one who, like, is a normal family in a house without nannies. I don't believe that they
no,
don't
they
have
definitely have
nannies.
nannies. They
I
definitely have
don't
nannies.
believe they
Yeah,
don't. Yeah.
they
Yeah,
say they
so, like,
don't.
no, they have
I don't
nannies.
know if they deny it,
No, they
but
definitely do.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no way she could do any of this. Yeah,
Yeah. So, like, A, I don't believe that she's cooking breakfast, period. But B, like, I don't know why she wants America to think that she's getting up before her family to cook them breakfast.
yeah. It's like
Mm-hmm.
not.
Like,
No one's
why
gonna be
is
like,
this
"Oh
the thing that we
wow."
want to aspire to? Like, it's not.
No.
That's dumb. Harry should get
Yeah.
up and make breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harry doesn't have a
He
job.
also
She's the
doesn't
one
have a
working.
job.
Well, she's doing this. At least that.
Yeah.
And is she doing new suits or is she not?
Oh, I think it suits LA, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's not that
Isn't that
far
where she
from
lives,
Montecito.
though?
She could...
But it's a different show. I mean, like I don't think it's not the
Oh,
same
okay.
cast or
Yes.
anything.
Okay.
Yeah,
The whole
yeah,
different cast.
I've never
yeah,
seen an
yeah.
episode of Suits.
Me
I have to
neither.
say.
Honestly, you guys, it's very Sofalite coded. The
Oh,
suits on Suits are good.
Really?
okay.
All right.
Like they are
They have to be if it's
purposefully
called Suits.
well considered and good, and it's a big deal. I would highly recommend watching the first season of Suits.
Okay.
Okay. I checked
Just
it
for
out.
the suits.
Okay. Yeah, it has to be good if you're gonna call them Suits.
Yeah, I
but
mean, it's a good
yeah.
point.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Also,
they,
like I wouldn't mind like knowing more about the Tig because isn't that where she started like her lifestyle blog? She could reference that more. Like she talked about it once, I think, but
Oh, I didn't catch
yeah,
that at all. That's,
in the
yeah.
beginning, yeah, yeah.
Or have we abandoned that because as ever is everything?
Oh no, the Tig is gone. She
Okay.
closed it when she got engaged or before or
Oh,
something.
like
Oh.
would she have been allowed to even do this under the Queen?
Probably
yeah, no
not.
way.
Yeah.
I think he just got a crash course in fractured families, so maybe his
Yeah.
thoughts are evolving on that. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't think he cares, obviously, but or else they wouldn't be doing it. But yeah, I don't think they'd be doing it with the Queen here. Yeah.
Negative.
I can't wait to watch the next season. to see
Yeah.
what other things around the house Meghan is kind of bad at.
The bath tea bag.
Bath tea bags. I love a bath tea. I will tell
That's a
you,
good idea. Yeah.
I am not
Yeah.
going to drink any kind of tea, but I love a bath
I do
tea.
too, because it
Yeah.
really helps with the cleanup. And that was another moment where she was like, yeah, I'm gonna put flower petals in this like bath salt thing. And I was like, if she freaking puts just like petals of flowers in there without a tea bag, I'm turning it off right now. Because like we all don't have maids to come up and like clean out the drains after someone puts flower petals down your bath drain. But then she was like, yeah, you don't really want to be dealing with this afterwards. And I was like, okay, cool. Thank you for pointing that
a
out.
rare grounded moment in the With Love Meghan Markle experience.
I did also love that she said that her mom bought her a dehydrator for Christmas. I thought that was very cute.
Oh, I
That's
missed
one of
that.
the
That's
moments-
cute.
Yeah,
Such a
yeah,
mom move.
I love
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Pratik's sister bought him a dehydrator before we met, like when he first bought this house right before we met, and it still hasn't been opened. And I feel like after all this talk about
Why?
dehydrating citrus,
Why did she buy him a dehydrator?
I don't know.
What
She
was
just
the-
always buys him stuff that is like actually useful, but him
But he doesn't
being
cook,
who he
really.
is, like he's not going to use it.
He's
But
gotta
you
learn how
could
to
use
cook.
it to
Can
make
you
your
use it?
flower
Because
sprinkles.
he was like, should we donate this? Well, Kirby gave it to me, and I was like, well, we should, number one, keep it, and number two, I'll use it.
Yeah, you should teach him how to do a couple things so that if he's ever stuck somewhere and can't get like takeout.
I taught him
He
how to
can
make
dehydrate
avocado
things.
toast, and that was
I know
like
that's
the
like
number
very low bar.
I know, but it's one thing, and he does it for himself every weekend, and it's actually
That's
really
good.
good because I taught him my recipe. So
Do you think that your husband is actually the target audience for Meghan's show
To say, I don't he
because
needs
of
to
the
watch.
level of skill
I was
involved
gonna say, I
in
think
all
maybe
of
he
the
needs to watch
activity?
Megan's show.
why don't
and
I
he
turn
would
it? I
learn
haven't
something.
watched it in front of him. I think this week I'll experiment with that and just put
He's
it on
gonna
in the
make that
background
pasta
one
for
night,
you though.
and
It's not gonna be good.
And we
Yeah,
have
and
an
I'll see. I'll be like, what do you
soggy-ass
think
cooked
about
arugula.
this?
yeah,
What
you're
are
gonna have a lot
your
of cooking.
thoughts?
Yeah. He's gonna be like, oh, I didn't know you cook pasta like that.
Okay,
First of
You're gonna-
all, you can't cook pasta like that.
No.
That was the most deranged thing I've ever seen in my life, where she poured boiling water over
Yeah,
raw
I know.
pasta in a Dutch oven.
see, and that's gonna confuse my husband because the first time he made
That's what I
pasta,
mean, you're gonna be eating
he had
it.
to call me because his nieces were on their way over, and he's like, I'm on uncle duty and I have to make pasta, and he's like, how do I do it? And I was like, well, first
my
you
God.
boil water, and he's like, oh, how do I do that?
I think that does it for us for this
Yeah,
episode.
Yeah.
We're anxiously awaiting season 2, and
Can't wait.
love to see growth and improvement, hope for the best. And until then, we'll be making our own flower sprinkles.
Yes.
Yeah. Dehydrating oranges.
As
Yeah.
we've said, if you have extra oranges, blood or otherwise, lemons, nysofalites@gmail.com, on Instagram @nysofalites. Please get in touch with us, and we
Yes.
will talk to you next
Let us
time.
know your thoughts on With Love, Meghan. Sussex.
Bye, everybody.